Good morning, Cindy Birkland here with cindybirkland.com, and I want to welcome you back to the show. And again, I have a part two with Miss Anna Billings from the Caesar's Palace store for FONTAINE. And the reason I have Anna here, and I've had her twice this week, is because she's the epitome of a boss babe.
Thank
you.
We're
doing our Boss Babe series, just really about what is a boss. I want to touch on the differences in boss. There's a boss that's a noun, a boss that's a verb, and a boss that's an adjective. And when we look at a boss that's a noun, that is a boss that is like in charge of a group of people or an organization. It's a title, really. And then boss as a verb is like to boss somebody around. It's an action, right? But boss as an adjective is more of a slang, and it's about someone who's outstanding in their field, someone who's first rate, someone who's getting it done, someone that's total class, act. So, of course, I have Anna here twice. And specifically, we want to talk today about her job as the general manager of the FONTAINE store. And you've been in retail how many years?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have to give my age now. I think I've been in retail now 43 years.
Wow. And you've been with FONTAINE how long?
17.
Okay. So almost half your career you've been with FONTAINE, and
right.
And what a remarkable store. I got involved and met Anna about 2 years ago and fell in love with the store and the clothing and the timeless pieces of these clothes. And but I want to talk specifically about being a boss. And you've been a boss for a long time in the form of a noun, but you're getting it done as part of a boss babe, like being outstanding in your field. Mm-hmm. So I'd love to hear from you, for a lot of the women or even men on the show that are looking to become a business owner, or maybe they are a business owner. I'd really like to hear from you, like what you feel has been, what's made you successful. And then secondly, I want to hear about what you do to bring on a quality person onto the team. So A, what's made you successful? And B, tell me about your quality people, how you get those.
Well, to be successful, you have to surround yourself with successful people. So when I am out in the community and I see someone that I feel is either going to be an amazing model or she's going to be part of my team that's going to help it grow, that is when I start recruiting. I start recruiting not just people that are in the industry of retail, but I'll go to Starbucks, I'll go to restaurants, and whenever I see someone that's just very passionate about what they do, I know that that's going to be a good mix in my boutique, because you can teach people how to sell. They just need to be passionate about what they're doing.
And that doesn't mean they're passionate as a person. They can know how to have sales skills, but passion is what sells.
Yeah, they have to love it. Because
you have to love what you're doing.
You have to love it. You have to be happy when you go into work every day. I love my job.
Yes.
I love going into the boutique and thinking, this is what I'm going to do. These are the people I'm writing myself notes early in the morning. I got to do this. And then these are the people I have to call. And I think that, for example, I have my assistant. She's been watching me, writing notes, always writing details about the client, because, I have a lot going on. I don't want to forget anything about that client. I write everything down. Either it's the client's name, either
what's important
to them. If she's got a when I say name, she might not go by Jane. She might go by something else. So when I call her, I want to go by that nickname that she has. I also write down what things have been going on in her life. There's a story I always tell my girls when I'm training them, and I learned this through the Harry Friedman group because I was a trainer in Texas for 13 years. They always asked I'd always ask at the meetings, if a client comes into your boutique and she says, I was in Hawaii last week, what are you going to say to them? And the girls will usually respond, well, what did that dress look like? No. You're going to ask them what they were doing in Hawaii. And then you build from that. It could be, or were you in Hawaii for business, or were you on Hawaii for vacation with your family? You start to open up the door, and it's just like having someone come into your home. You have to say hello to them. You have to talk to them.
With basics,
right?
And it's person that is more of a salesperson that's not thinking about. If you're truly a good salesperson, you're going to be really organic in your conversation and really care about the person. The trick with people is caring about them, like,
exactly,
organically, automatically. And if you're not caring, people know that.
They know if you're trying to just push and sell something.
Right.
If you care. And when someone says, "Oh, I can't wear a belt," yes, you can. You just don't have the right belt. Let me show you this belt, and it changes the whole look of the outfit. And that you should be able to remember what they have in their wardrobe, so that you can tell them to combine that belt with something else.
You do that so remarkably.
You have to remember.
She remembers my size all the time. She remembers. Oh, remember that one dress you just bought? I just got in the cutest little top that will actually interchange with that dress. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, Anna is such a badass because she sells so many clothes like this, because it's like, when you care about somebody and you remember their size, you remember what's going on, but you automatically are going to make more sales caring.
Exactly. And, I had some really good coaches in my life that I will never forget. Like when I first started at David's Bridal, it was always that because that was big box for me. And
talk about what big box is in retail.
Big box in retail is a David's Bridal, a Kohl's, that's Target. That's big box.
Okay.
And when I met this amazing lady, her name was Sadie Cherry. She says, "You can't do it all. You have to learn how to delegate." Okay. This is coming in from small boutiques. The largest boutiques that I ever had were maybe 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. But I just went in and managed, and everybody had their goals and what they needed to do throughout the day. That I was able to teach. But when I saw that 13,000 square foot store, I got a little overwhelmed. So I called my mentor, who I worked for 13 years, Mr. John Wan from San Antonio. We used to be called the team Cheap and Cheerful. And, I'm not cheap. So I called him up. I said, I feel a little anxious. I said, I'm looking outside the doors of this big store, and it's huge. So he kind of said, I want you to think about it this way, Anna. Think of all the 23 stores that you go to. Think of them all in one place. And it's going to be easier for you. So then I went for a 6-week training for David's Bridal, because they do intensive training. There's a lot that happens behind those doors. I needed to learn the alterations business. I needed to learn all the conversions. I needed to learn the bridal business.
That's a totally different business.
Bridesmaids. You ruined that bride's experience. You ruined her experience. That's one of the most important days of her life.
Yes.
So I had to coach the girls, even as far as to say to them, never say to the bride that she needs just a little bit of weight to lose, because that could put her over the edge. Right. Or the mom that's overwhelming and, no, you have to do this and you have to do that. You have to create that experience for them when you're at the back of the house. And each one of the girls had to follow, my team had to follow me. And there was 30 employees that I had. So I had to build up the alterations business. I hired an extra person. And those last minute brides that were coming in, I'm getting married tonight, I'd have that.
Wow.
I'd have that It's Las Vegas. They get married that day.
That's true.
Yeah, it's Las Vegas. And so we'd get them completely set up and ready to go.
Dress altered and everything.
Everything. So my alterations business went sky high.
Wow.
I was told by another leader of mine, your bridesmaid business will never be like the other stores because you're here in Las Vegas. All you have to say to me is, you're not going to be able to?
Yes.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I can do. So I started calling the high schools to see if I could have some of the young ladies come in and model for their prom dresses. Well, I started selling them bridesmaids dresses. So that bridesmaid business went up. I hired 2 really amazing CSRs that would not let anybody pass the doors without getting all of their information, finding out when the wedding was. If the wedding was in 2 years, they need their dress today. That's one thing out the door. They don't ever have to think about it. If the bride says, well, I'm going to lose weight, that's great. We can take that dress in. We have an alterations department. So the business, when I had this store, it was not like at 1.2 million. By the time I left, it was over 4 million.
I'm not a bit surprised.
So it was constant. I mean, those days.
It's always coming up with ideas. What I love about you, Anna, is you're always coming up with a way to figure out how to make the sale. Like, how do I get someone coming into my store? Anna goes out and brings in the business. She hits a target-rich environment. How ingenious to get high schoolers to come in and model.
Yeah.
And now they know about your store for prom
Exactly,
dresses.
for prom dresses.
And I look at what you've created with the foundations and the kind of women we run around with. And guess what? All these women working at FONTAINE need a beautiful gown.
That's right.
For these beautiful foundation or galas that we attend and all this stuff. And I'm like, I think I'm in that. I got sucked up into that, but I
hooked her. I hooked her and I reeled her in.
But I love it. Like I literally look forward to going to the events because I'm like, oh, I've got a great outfit that I get to wear and I know I'm going to feel great in it. It's going to be lots of fun. And it's a great experience and we're doing philanthropical work. Like we're focused out, we're giving money wherever we need, filling in the blanks on where the need is, but also getting to have a great time and look beautiful in the process. So to me, what you've created as far as going out and finding a way to bring in business in the door is so ingenious.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about, you've had some really amazing women working for you. You told me some really cool stories. How would you say, give me the story of your best person and how did you meet her and how did that come about?
I really have had some amazing women working for me. Amazing. And I think a lot of it is when I'm out and about in the community and I see someone that's really good or word of mouth, hey, this is going to be a really good person. Okay. Because when you work for me, you're going to work really hard and you're going to feel amazing after you leave and you're going to learn a lot. And I think a lot of it that they work hard. When someone works for me, I'm just not going to tell them what to do. I show them. You show by example. And first, I show them what their numbers should be, what it is that they need to do to get there, and the verbiage that they need to use. And they have to mirror me.
Yeah.
I think that for me, when I hired this, and I always refer to her because she really was an amazing assistant that I had. Her name was Amber Sheridan. And I got her at Starbucks. And she was all over the place there in Starbucks. And I said to myself, I need that energy in the store. I gave her my business card. She never called me back. So the next day I went back to Starbucks and I said, hey, why didn't you call me? Well, she thought that I was in some other kind of business. So, so she finally came into the store. Do you know that I would give her a task because she had the same A personality. My inventory was the best. She won awards 3 years in a row because she was so adamant about making sure she knew where everything was at, what went out, what came in. I never had to worry about my inventory.
Wow. Then
I have my assistant that I have now, Olga. She was in customer. Yeah, she's amazing. She was in customer service. She was going to school. I think that when I first hired her and she came into the boutique, if you like to sell, you're going to sell. You're not going to tell me, oh, this person came in and she just didn't want to buy. No, honey, you just didn't close the sale. We got to teach you those skills. Olga, from the get-go, from the day she started, same with Amber, they could sell. But both of them watched how I would have someone in the dressing room, and very much about team selling. If I needed something, I would ask them to go and get it, and we would build that client's sale.
Yeah.
It's all about schmoozing. It's all about giving them their champagne, making that experience a beautiful experience for them. Olga takes notes on everything. She has been watching that. And Amber, I think, when she watched me when I had a lady that came into the boutique, I'm in the room with her. She says, I'm really, really warm right now. I just been finished with chemo. And
my gosh.
Yeah. And this wig, I'm so hot in this wig. I said, take the wig off. You don't have to wear the wig around me. So it's about that caring experience that, you want to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
This client went back to the other boutique that was in her hometown just to speak about how wonderful her experience was in the boutique. And every time someone goes into another boutique, they always talk about the experience they had in Las Vegas.
Well, and it's really boils down to experience.
Yes.
When people feel good, when they're around you and they have a good experience, they're going to not only buy, but they're going to buy again.
Again.
Whether they need something or not.
Right.
It's recreating that experience. So that's really huge. And I told you this before. If I wasn't in the money business, I would be working with you at the store in Caesars.
That would be great.
I love clothes. I love the whole experience going in there. And really, I'm a firm believer in creating an experience for my money clients. Like, I want people to understand how their money works. And I want people to understand how their business should be working. Like, if I see they have a business, like giving them a good experience on how to manage their money. Because a lot of times, don't you find people will beat themselves up about where they're at in life or whatever? You have women that come in and and you're like, okay, but here going forward, this is how we're going to do it.
Exactly.
And it's and we're a team and we're going to do this together. And I feel like that whole experience at the FONTAINE store under your tutelage it all interworks together. It's been an amazing, amazing ride for you.
It has been. And I love empowering other women. Yes. When I say love, it gives me joy when I see that my girls, when I go to these meetings, and every single one of my girls are the ones that come in first top sales, second, third, and their names are out there. Wow. That gives me a great amount of pride because I know that they really worked hard to get there. Yeah. Because there's some exceptional salespeople that work for FONTAINE and exceptional managers. But for them to all come out of my store, that's a good tap on the back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Boss Babe Extraordinaire, FONTAINE, Anna Billings, our general manager for the Caesar store. We've got 2 Boss Babes, but it's like, it takes another Boss Babe to make other Boss Babes look good. And you do it so well. And so
Thank you.
I'm proud that you're my friend. I'm proud that you're in my life. I'm grateful for you.
I feel the same about you, Cindy. I think that what you're doing is amazing. You're always out there. You have your camera crew. I get to be in the pictures. It's always good. I love it. I love it.
It's funny. We had an event the other day, and I mean, I brought my own team. I brought Jean with me, and there was other people there, and it was like good. Our events are so amazing. It's time to bring in our media team.
That's right.
So, but I just want to thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
And hey, if this conversation interests you, please get a hold of us at cindybirkland.com. You want to know more about FONTAINE or going to work for Anna Billings at the Caesar store, get a hold of us. We'll be more than happy to make an introduction. Cindy Birkland here. Just wanted to say thank you for watching the channel. And if you want more content, just need you to click right here. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, clicking right here. If any of these conversations have interested you, please get a hold of us at cindybirkland.com, or you can reach me at cindybirkland@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching.